Hi guys, this is Miss Horrocks. I am the elementary art teacher from West Valley 1 and at one point West Valley 2. And this is the project that we're going to be doing today. This is a project that I do in my classroom with my third grade artists. So if you are looking at this and you are saying, hey, this looks familiar, there's a good chance that we've done this lesson in the past, which means you are going to be even more prepared for it. Also, if you're looking at this lesson and saying, no way, Jose, you're crazy, I'm not going to draw this, you absolutely can, because my third graders rock it, and you guys are going to rock it too. So you guys, this video I've already filmed, like I said, for my other classes, so you're going to see two versions of me. This version of me with my pink nails, this is today. We had an earthquake this morning, which was crazy. We are doing distance learning, which is also crazy, so it's a crazy time. And then it's going to flip over to a version of me that has, I think my nail polish is black in that video. So that's what I did in the past. So you're going to have two Miss Horrockses, future Miss Horrocks and past Miss Horrocks, and that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so the first warm-up is all of your jungle plants. So they are this leaf down here, this big leaf that's kind of in the background. There's one right here too. And this big tree. The flowers are on a separate one. So what I would like you to do on a separate piece of paper, I'm going to zoom in and you are going to press pause and you are going to get yourself a visual reference. So this is your warm-up for these plants. Press pause and do it. Yay, okay, so now, this is your second warm-up. This is for the toucan and this hibiscus flower. And I've got a couple of those in my artwork. There's one up there, one down there. Alrighty guys, so press pause and please do this warm-up. Okay, so let's do our hibiscus flower first. These are so cute and so fun. So this is what they look like. Here are some more examples. Look how pretty. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to start in the middle and you are going to draw a curved line. And a curved line. And a couple of curved lines. This is the middle part of our flower. Alrighty friends, next I'm going to draw a petal. So I'm going to draw kind of a wavy line that goes like that. And a wavy line that goes like that. These are organic shapes, so it doesn't really matter how you do it. And a wavy line that connects it. I'm going to draw one up here. I'm going to draw a wavy line like that. And a wavy line like this. And I'm going to connect it with like a bumpy wavy line. Alrighty, over here I'm going to draw a wavy line coming out of the middle. And a wavy line kind of coming out from behind that guy. And I'm going to connect it with a wavy line. One more over here, wavy line. Wavy line, and connecting it with a wavy line. Alrighty, I'm going to do one up here. So it's going to kind of come up like this. Thinking of organic shapes, they look kind of random. Wavy line, and one more. So it's just going to kind of look like that. Alright guys, inside of each petal I'm going to draw some wavy lines that go like that and then follow back. Ooh, so pretty. And then for their leaves, I just do great big leaves that look like this. Draw a curved line, an angle line, curved line, angle line, curved line, and then curved line, angle line, curved line, angle line, so on and so forth. And then I just kind of do one of these in the middle, angle line. And if you want, you can draw some straight lines. I guess they're not that straight, those are curved lines. Kind of fill up the space like that. So they're so pretty, they're totally organic, there's no wrong way to do it, that's just how I do them. Yay! Okie dokie, so there's that guy. This will help for when I get to that point in the video, because it might feel like I'm kind of like rushing over it, but that's because I normally did this video in my classroom. Okie dokie, now, practice toucan. The reason I'm doing a separate one with you is because if we were in class together, I would do a separate one with you before we started the video. So that's why we're doing it. Okay, thinking of my composition. So my bird has a big old beak because he is a toucan. He's got an eye and he's got kind of like this belly, and then he's got big long feathers that go like underneath him, because they're his tail feathers. And a lot of people, when they're drawing this, they don't leave enough room for the feathers. So I'm like imagining that his feathers are going to be down here, and his belly's going to be right here, and his head's going to be up here. So that's my composition. I'm almost dividing it sort of into thirds, but this is just a practice. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to start with a circle. And I'm going to color it in except for a tiny little spot. If you're drawing with pencil, you don't have to do that. Okay, now you know where I'm at on my page. I'm going to zoom in. Okie dokie. Oops, that's the cord of my camera. Go away. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to draw a circle around it, but it's not a perfect circle. It's like smushy. Right here, I'm going to draw a curved line. Looks like an S, meow. And then a backward curved line, meow. Starting right here, I'm going to draw a big curved line. It curves up and over. Right here at this little point, I'm going to draw a curved line. It goes to meet that one. And then right here, I'm going to draw a curved line that just kind of goes over here like that. So guys, he has markings on his beak that in my video I don't do until later, but since we're here, let's do that. Curved line. Wavy line. Okie dokie, that is his toucan beak. You can also, for his beak, draw a line that just kind of goes farther out like that too, if you like that better. However way you do it is great with me. Okie dokie, so next I'm going to draw a part of my toucan. It's called his bib, and it's because it looks like he's kind of wearing like a bib. So I'm going to start right here. Curved line is going to go up and over his eye and down his neck. Curved line. This isn't his whole body. And then back up here. Kind of want that to be a little more round, but that's okay. Ready guys, now I'm going to draw the top of his head. This is going to kind of follow this line. And it's going to go like there-ish. I still have a bunch of room for my tail. Look at all that. Right here. Meow. They're not going to touch. I'm going to leave a little bit of room. Okay. Trust me, I'm going to come back up to here. I haven't drawn his wings yet. That's why I look so skinny. I'm going to draw a bumpy line that goes just like that. This is going to be the branch that he's standing on. And another one on the bottom. I'm going to draw a C shape. And a C shape. and a C shape. These are his toes wrapping around a branch, and a C shape. Yeah. Alrighty, same thing on the other side, except this is a backwards C. Just kind of one toe, another toe, and another toe. And then this can just like go on and do its thing. I'm not going to worry about that really because we're going to have a whole background to deal with. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to draw his wings. They are resting behind him. He's not flying. He's sitting on a branch, so he doesn't need his wings right now. So I'm just going to draw lines that curve down like this. There you go. He's not using them. He's chilling in a tree. Okie dokie, underneath this branch is where I'm going to draw his feathers. So I'm going to draw just a little angle line. If you were to imagine the branch wasn't there, it would follow it like meow and then back up. You guys, here I'm going to draw a tail feather. It goes down, curves over, and back up. So then it goes down and over. Down and over. Notice how they're kind of getting shorter as they go up. Same thing on the other side. Down and over, down and over, and down and over. And ta-da! That's our toucan. Yay, easy peasy. Alrighty guys, so in the video that you're about to watch, I sound a little bit different. It was a different day. It was a different time, but these are what I drew. And they're so pretty and so colorful. This is what you're gonna draw too. I used colorful Sharpies. I have these here. Use whatever you have got at home. I miss you guys. I hope that you have so much fun, and meow. Hi friends. Our next project is going to be inspired by toucans and the toucan habitat. When you see a toucan, you can recognize it right away because of his big, huge, colorful beak. He uses his beak to eat fruit and also establish dominance with other toucans. You can usually find them in pairs or in small flocks. Toucans don't migrate the way other birds do. You'll usually find toucans in the neotropics. They live in forests. Toucans' wings are really short because they don't need to fly long distances because they live in the forest. Alrighty friends, let's get started with our jungle toucan drawing. Here is an example of a drawing that I have finished. Notice that it has two toucans. We're all going to have two toucans. It has lots of different kinds of plants and flowers, and all of the space is filled up. There is no white space around the edge. We want our composition to be nice and full. So friends, with our blank piece of paper, before we start our drawing, we need to think of our composition. So friends, I want you to think of where you want your first toucan to be. Think about where their beak is going to be, where their bodies. We want to leave enough room for their feathers. Think about where your second toucan is going to be looking, and where you want its wings to be. Say where you want his tail feathers to be, where you want plants to be. We want some plants to look like they're closer and some that they're farther away, so we need to think about all of those things before we get started. So friends, once I know where my first toucan is going to go, I am going to think of all of my elements of shape, and I am going to begin to draw. So I'm going to put my finger where I want my eye to be. My friends, this toucan, his beak's going to be going this way, so I'm going to put his eye right about here. And friends, for his eye, I'm going to draw a circle. Now that you see where it is in my placement, I'm going to zoom in. So friends, I'm going to draw another smaller circle inside of that circle, and then I'm going to fill that in to make a dot. And we're done. Just kidding. We've got a lot more to go. So friends, then I'm going to draw another circle. Notice I don't want it to be perfectly round around my dot, and that is going to create the eye. Alrighty friends, now I'm going to put my pencil over here, and I am going to draw a curved line. This curves in two directions. It starts right here, curves down, kind of curves like an S, and then I'm going to do the same thing again, but it's going to curve the other way. So this sort of looks like a long stretched out S, and this kind of looks like a backwards S. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the middle of those curvy lines, and I'm going to draw where my first toucan's beak is going to be. This is the middle part of his beak. Notice it's not the top or the bottom. My friends, for the top part of my beak, it is a curved line. It has a big bump in it. We want it to be nice and curvy because that is what a toucan's beak looks like. Voila. And then my second line is going to come up and meet the first one. So my toucan's beak is super, super big. Actually, I want that to look a little bit different. It's going to curve and it's going to meet right there at the tip. The next thing I'm going to draw is going to be my toucan's bib. Now friends, the bib is the part of the toucan that is white. It kind of starts around his eyes and it goes down towards his chest. So I'm going to put my finger right about here, my pencil right about here, and I'm going to draw a line that curves around his eye. So friends, this might look like it's his head. It's actually not. It's just the white markings on his face. And then I'm going to draw a line that curves around and comes back up, and that's going to be my toucan's neck. Notice that this is an organic shape. This does not look like a perfect circle. It's more interesting if it's an organic shape because a toucan is an organic thing. Now I'm going to draw the head. It's going to start right about here, and it's going to curve up and over. So now you can see the difference between that's the top of his head and that is his bib. And then I'm going to draw a line that comes down right about like that. Okay, I'm going to zoom out so you can see. There we go. That actually is a little too wide. Okay, from there, the line is going to come down like that. And that's going to be the side of my toucan's body. Notice that it just stops. I've left plenty of room down here. It just stops. So on this side of the bib, I'm going to draw another line that comes down just like that. Those lines are curved lines and they sort of curve together. Friends, I'm now going to draw just the part of the branch that our bird is sitting on. I don't want to draw too much branch. And I'm going to draw the bottom part. Again, notice that those are not perfectly straight lines. They are organic, curvy lines. I'm going to draw my toucan's toes. They kind of like curl around the branch. So first I'm going to draw sort of a curved line at the end of that branch. And then I'm going to draw a C shape that goes around. This is going to help give this branch and the feet form to make it look like it's coming out in 3 dimensions. One more toe. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing, curved line. This one time it's a backwards C. And voila. Now that I have his toes drawn, I can draw kind of where the branch is going to go. So they can go out a little bit more. I can change those lines. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to stay. Okay. Underneath the branch, I'm going to draw a curved line. And here I'm going to draw his feathers. His feathers start up on his neck. Imagine that he has shoulders. His feathers are tucked behind him because he is sitting in a tree. He is not flying away. you don't like the first line you did, no problem, just erase it and fix it. There is his other wing. They're just sort of tucked back. Now I'm going to draw his tail feathers. These are lines that may or may not go to the bottom of your paper. They are straight lines, but then they curve. And you can decide how many feathers you want your toucan to have. And just like that, we have our first toucan. So friends, I drew this toucan pretty big. I think I'm going to want my second one to be a little bit smaller just so that it can fit nicely. So this one is going to be facing this direction, so his beak's going to come in sort of like this. So I need to think about where I want his eye. If this is his beak, his eye must be somewhere around here. So I am again going to start with a dot. And around my dot, I'm going to draw a circle. Again, friends, we don't want these to be perfect circles. That would be weird. Alrighty, now I'm going to draw those two curvy lines next to his eye. I'm going to draw where the middle of his beak is going to be. Starting at the top of those curvy lines, I am going to draw the top part of his beak. I'm going to make sure it has a nice curve because that is what toucans look like. And I'm going to draw the bottom part of his beak as well. That's going to come and meet the top part of his beak right there. Next I'm going to draw his bib. Even though this might look like it's part of his head, it's not really. It's just the white markings. Got a big curved line for that. Now I'm going to actually draw his head and the side of his body. And the side of his body on this side too. There we go. I have my head and my body done. I'm going to draw a little bit of the branch, not too much of it because I don't want to be stuck with anything. And I'm going to draw the claws so that those are C shapes. Do the same thing on this side. He's got two big claws on either side. Next, I need to draw where his wings are. He's not flying, his wings are tucked back behind him. This one's going to go off the page a little bit, which is totally fine. Underneath here, a little curved line. And this is where his tail feathers are going to be. So notice, friends, that these are just organic shapes. They start out kind of straight and then they curve a little bit. You can decide how many feathers you want to have. Okie dokie. Now here I have my two toucans. I've got the subject of my drawing, but I don't have the landscape around it. So friends, if you look at this warm-up that we did, this warm-up has all sorts of examples of jungle plants that you could use. So when you are drawing your landscape, your background, you want to have these out. These are great examples of all of the different kinds of things that you can do. Yours does not have to look like mine. In fact, it's better if it doesn't. We're using as many different kinds of leaves as you want. Now friends, I might create some overlapping here. I might draw some stuff that's going to go on top of my toucans, and that's perfectly fine. That's going to give my drawing depth. So I've got a bunch of empty spaces right here. I am going to draw maybe something that looks kind of like this. You can draw along with me or you can do your own thing. Whatever you decide is perfectly fine. So friends, leaves are always organic shapes. No two leaves are exactly the same. So when you are drawing your leaves, don't worry about them having to look like something exactly because that's not how leaves work. There's one of my leaves. This one's going to go off the page, which is perfectly fine. There we go. So friends, notice how this leaf is going over all of those feathers. all I have to do is erase the feathers that are inside of my leaf. So now my leaf is over the top of my feathers. That's how we can deal with overlapping, one way to deal with it. Now I'm going to draw all of the little shapes that go inside. So I'm looking at my warm-up. My eyes are going back and forth between my warm-up and what I'm actually drawing. And I am copying, even though it's on a different piece of paper, this style of leaf. There we go. I like to turn my paper when I draw. It makes things easier for me. Alrighty, there's one kind of leaf. I think I'm going to draw another kind of leaf behind this. I like the look of these big leaves. I think that those are really cool, so I'm going to look at those when I do this. This is going to overlap some of my stuff too, which is perfectly fine. In fact, overlapping makes your drawing much more interesting in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and draw in those branches now. So I know where my birds are sitting. I think right about here I'm going to put some sort of flower. Notice that I'm just drawing on top of stuff. That's how I know what is going to overlap what. This flower is going to overlap all sorts of stuff. Covered up that foot completely. There we go. I'm going to put some leaves behind this stuff. This composition might look really complicated, but it's just a bunch of different pieces that all work together. There's that leaf that's coming out from behind that guy. Again, friends, you're just looking at these to see what kind of plants that you would like to have. Notice, friends, that these things in front are really, really big because the closer something is to you, the bigger it looks. if something were really far away from you, it wouldn't look big at all. I think I'm going to put another flower up here in this area. Got a lot of space to fill up right there. The flower is going to be behind my toucan's beak. Big, beautiful leaves behind it. Remember, friends, I'm getting all of my ideas for my leaves from my warm-up. If you have any in your imagination that you would like to use, that's perfectly fine. I'm getting my ideas from the warm-up. Got some empty space up here that I need to do something about. Maybe up here I can have more of the tree that my toucan is sitting on. Think about branches and what branches look like. Just using lots of curved lines. Leaves on all of my branches, because after all, it is a tree. Your leaves could be big, they could be small. If you overlap anything, that's awesome. Just make sure that you erase what you've overlapped. Alrighty, I'm going to look for any blank spots. If there's anything that needs something else, maybe that branch is going to come out this way a little bit. Add a few more of those leaves. Alrighty, looks good to me. So friends, I have filled all of my space. I have stuff up front, I have stuff in the middle, I have stuff in the background. Everything is filled up. And when you get to that point, then you are ready to trace with Sharpie. So friends, when I'm tracing with Sharpie, it is always important that I am so careful, because I spent all this time making this drawing. When I trace it with Sharpie, if I do a sloppy job, then all you're going to be able to see is the sloppy Sharpie. You won't see any of your nice, neat pencil. So friends, wherever you decide to start is perfectly fine with me. Make sure that you're very careful about what you're overlapping. If you drew something that has an overlap, make sure that you don't draw what was underneath your overlap, because then it won't be overlapped anymore. It will be on top. Okie dokie, boys and girls, we have traced over our entire drawing with Sharpie. We have filled our composition from corner to corner. We have our two toucans, and we have our variety of jungle plants behind. Our next job is to start to color. So looking back at my other example, you can see that this is a bright, a very, very, very colorful piece of artwork. There is no white at all except for a little white in the eyes, and we are going to color the entire thing. Alrighty, voila, and just like that, I am done. I don't have any white left behind. I have filled up all of the white on my page, and when you have done that too, you are also done. Right, friends, I hope that you love your artwork and you